Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about Gilligan's Island, more specifically about Jim Backus, who played the amazing Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island. Now, as I've grown older, I have loved the character of Mr. Howell more and more, and I want to talk to you about the man who played him, Jim Backus, and his decline, which was documented by Russell Johnson, who played the professor on Gilligan's Island. Apparently, Jim was super talented, and he was extremely talented at ad-libbing while they were filming on the island, on Gilligan's Island. There were also times where Jim would be irascible and his feathers would get ruffled because something occurred that he did not agree with or did not like. Now, many of the castaways, that is the actors, they could tell when they needed to give him a little bit of space so that he could wander off into the hut sets and be alone and just relax for a little bit. And in fact, he never really stayed angry or upset that long. He would approach Natalie Schaefer, who was not his real-life wife, and they would talk together. In fact, he would say that Natalie was kind of his second wife. His real life was Henny Backus, who he was madly in love with, and they had a wonderful relationship. In fact, many describe Jim's humor and his demeanor off-camera as pretty outrageous, similar to that of Jonathan Winters or Robin Williams, just not that energetic, I would say. And Jim would reminisce about working in previous films that he did. I mean, working with greats like James Dean, Humphrey Bogart. He was, of course, in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, Rebel Without a Cause. He was on the TV show I Married Joan. I mean, he had a lot of stories to tell, and everyone on the show really loved to hear them. Now, unfortunately, after the series had its due course, they did a movie kind of giving the rescue of what happened on Gilligan's Island. The movie was called Rescue from Gilligan's Island. But after that, Jim Backus got sick, and all of a sudden, it seemed that he had become an old, frail man. All of this coming from Russell Johnson's account. Physically, he struggled a lot more. It was difficult for him to walk and to move, and he needed assistance to be able to do this, and he really didn't have a lot of energy. He became more thin, and to the everyday person who didn't know him personally or didn't know him that well, the illness seemed like he just had a stroke, but this was not true. In fact, this wasn't revealed to many people. In fact, many people don't know about this. He had a lot of problems. He had been suffering from the ill effects of Parkinson's disease, as well as a really bad case of agoraphobia. Now, if you don't know what agoraphobia is, it's really ironic that Jim Backus would even have this. I was blown away when I found this out. It's an abnormal fear of going out in public. This from a man who was on TV, he was in movies, he seemed like a man of the people, liked to make people laugh. But remember, Robin Williams, people like Jim Backus, a lot of those individuals who are great performers are in fact fairly shy, very anxious people. That even includes myself. I could be quite anxious. I do have, stress more than the normal person, and I do relate to Jim Backus on this account. I don't know how many of you can relate as well. And so with Jim, the Parkinson's and the agoraphobia, it really wiped him out, and it was really difficult for him in the last 10 years of his life. In fact, his wife, Henny Backus, was very instrumental in helping him live a better life those last 10 years because he was unable to coordinate his arms, his legs. He couldn't tie a tie or even hold a fork. It's really surprising to imagine a man who was just so uplifting, so energetic, to get to this so quickly. And from this, he never really recovered. In fact, he was the first to cast away from Gilligan's Island. That is the first actor to pass away on July 3rd, 1989. And for many, it was a surprise, although he was older. They were just surprised because they had seen him for almost a decade being sick, then all of a sudden passing away. They thought that he would have been sick longer, or it was just normal for him to be sick, but they all really loved him. They all really got along well together with him, and in fact, they loved him so much. And finding out these last things about his life really made me appreciate Jim Backus, his work, so much more, knowing that he did wrestle with anxiety, stress, and just being so anxious in life that he had this fear of going out in public. I definitely know how that feels like every once in a while. if you can relate to this, I know there are a lot of people who also share this type of difficulty. In fact, 25% of all Americans have some type of moderate stress or anxiety that affects their daily life and makes it difficult. And it's really surprising to know that fact. So if you can relate, let me know in the comments down below. By the way, if you want to support the work that I do by honoring classic TV show and movie actors, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe this video. And in fact, just the channel in general. It's free to do so. You don't have to pay anything to do that. And it really, really helps out my channel so much. It helps to keep it going. We'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for the support as always. And don't forget, everyone, be hopeful. Thank you to all my supporters, especially my Diamond tier patrons: Russ C, Sally N, Vito L, Citizen Kane 359, David D, Jerry D, Jennifer P, and Kevin K. If you want to join this list and be a patron supporter, it does help out so much, and I thank you ahead of time.